Hi guys, today we're going to do a short lesson on the difference between when an author writes in first person versus when they write in third person. Now you might have heard me use those terms before, but you're not sure what they mean, so we're going to go over them today and then we'll do some examples together. Okay, so before we talk about the different types of point of view, first we need to understand what point of view actually means. So the definition of point of view is the position from which the writer speaks to the reader. Basically, it's the voice that the author uses when narrating the story. So if you see the author telling the story using words like I, my, me, we, or our, the author is using first person point of view. This way lets the reader feel very close to what's going on in the story and feel almost like a bond with the narrator. Second person is very rarely used, and in fact, it's very rarely taught. This uses words like you and your. So you should do this. You should do that. You went to the store. This is often used for self-help books or manuals. It's very rarely used in fiction. And finally, there's third person point of view. This is the other common point of view along with first. In this type of point of view, the author will use words like he, his, she, her, or hers. Now later on, we'll talk about third person omniscient versus third person limited. But for now, you just need to remember first person speaks from I, me, my, we, our, or third person speaks using he, his, she, her, or hers. So let's look at some examples of this to make it a little bit easier to understand. Here's an example of first person. I grabbed my keys and got in the car. Just as I was about to back out, a squirrel ran in front of me. How do we know this sentence or these sentences are first person? Well, let's look. We see words like I, my, I, and me. The author is telling the story from their own perspective, as if it was really happening to them. Therefore, we know that this is first person. Now, when we use third person point of view, the author uses words like he, him, or the name of the character. So he grabbed his keys and got in the car. Just as he was about to back out, a squirrel ran in front of him. The words he, his, he, and him all indicate this is third person because the author is not telling the story as if it happened to themselves, but to someone else. Okay, so now that we've gone over what first person is versus third person, I'm going to give you some examples. So, if I were to say, I went to the store and bought candy, would that be first person or third person? First person, because I used the word I. If I were to say, Lucas went to the store and bought himself some candy, would that be first or third person? Third, because we said Lucas and he. Remember, first person is using I, me, or we. Third person is saying another person's name and using he, she, or it. All right, guys, we will talk about this when we meet live. Can't wait to see you. Until then, have a great day.